Alright, I'm gonna be honest, it's been 3 years since we've done a character breakdown, but with PM Plus out and, COVID keeping people inside, I said, you know what, let's go back and let's do another one. Let's do another one for the people. Today, we're doing a character breakdown, Project M Plus, Donkey Kong, here we go. One of the oldest characters in the Super Smash Bros. Franchise, Donkey Kong has been in the Smash Bros. Games since Smash 64. He's one of the most iconic characters in the Smash Bros. Franchise, and he's one of the original 12 starting characters that were first introduced in Smash Bros. Having a Smash Bros. Game without Donkey Kong is like having a sandwich without bread. It just doesn't work. During Project M's initial update with Donkey Kong in it, he was extremely underrated. In fact, I would say he was probably the most underrated character in Project M for its release. People initially thought he was a low-tier character for being a big character that just gets comboed easily. However, that is nowhere near the truth. Once players like Thunder's Reign started picking up the character, pretty much Thunder's Reign alone rose Donkey Kong all the way to low tier to a high tier character in the game. It's not uncommon now to see Donkey Kong in the Project M meta. He's very good. Although Donkey Kong does still have some weaknesses, he definitely was the most underrated character during Project M's initial release. Donkey Kong was a very mediocre character in previous Smash Bros. Games. In Brawl, he was very bad. Not many people use him. Just a big character, very slow, no good gimmicks to really use about him. In Melee, he was also bad, and in Smash 64, he was also bad. A lot of his weaknesses in previous games were mainly developer oversights, especially in Melee. In Melee, one of his main weaknesses was having one of the worst shields in the game, considering it doesn't even go around his whole body. And his hurt boxes even go all the way down to his tie, so you have to worry about not getting poked super easily, which for DK already being a big character, that's already pretty difficult on its own. In Melee, he's sometimes referred to as a glass cannon, but he's more glassy and less cannon in my opinion. He does really good against fast fallers like, Fox Falco, but that doesn't really say he has a good matchup against them whatsoever, because while he can maybe take a few stocks off them, they're definitely going to be destroying DK in the long run. So yeah, he might have a good combo here and there, he has some good setups, but he's not that good. He's really mediocre. So he did have maybe a few good matchups here and there. He was able to combo and tech chase like a normal character should in Melee, but he just gets poked way too easily and he has a really garbage recovery. It just makes DK a really hard sell in Super Smash Bros. Melee, because you don't want to use a bad character. And hence that explains his placement of the tier list and why not a lot of top players really even give him the light of day. Donkey Kong in Project M is definitely a lot more actualized version of his Melee counterpart. He has a much better shield this time around, a lot better options with approaching, and his aerials are a lot quicker. All of his aerials have a lot less end lag, and that makes him more viable for offstage spiking or just using in general. His dash attack was completely changed, as it's much quicker and has a lot more combo potential than his older dash attack. It's basically a much quicker version of his dash attack in Smash 4. DK's poking tools from previous Smash Bros. Games are still here, with his down tilt being a really Marth-esque poke that's really good at starting combos, and his up tilt is a great combo extender, and his F tilt is good for poking and getting your opponents away from you as well. On top of that, he also has a really good jab that's capable of jab resetting its opponents. If you've played Donkey Kong and other Smash Bros. Games, then he should feel at home in Project M. Project M has a tendency to revamp characters entirely or add some groundbreaking mechanics to them that changes them a lot. Some examples being like Ganondorf or Samus. But DK does get more tools, he's much better and faster, for example, but he still keeps his recognizable moveset, just with changes that makes him more viable and more satisfying in this game engine. Donkey Kong's aerials are much faster compared to his Melee counterpart. His main spacing tool in that game was back air, which is an amazing poke for what it was, but there are much quicker aerials that have much faster end lag in this game. His down air, for example, is made for spiking opponents off stage, and his forward air, arguably one of his best moves, even off stage, can spike his opponents as well. It has a lot more kill power. It's one of his best aerials for taking stocks. And you can't forget his neutral air, which is much faster and it's a great combo starting tool. One of his most iconic moves in his moveset, his giant punch, is one of the strongest special moves in the game when fully charged. Commonly used out of a grab, his fully charged giant punch is still a strong tool in his kit. His up B, while not the best recovery move, still has some niche use on stage and off stage due to its strong startup hitbox, and he has a situational side special, the head smash. It still serves the same purpose that it always has. It's good for edge guarding, and if you catch your opponent just standing there, you can punish them for it. His final special is his down special, which is good for mix-ups, and it's pretty situational as well. Oh yeah, and Project M Plus, you can actually use your down special in the air, which is pretty cool. That was never part of his moveset. But he pretty much slaps the air and it does a lot of knockback. His grab game is where DK shines though. DK is the only character in the game that has access to a character-specific ability called Cargo. When Donkey Kong grabs somebody, he has the option of doing one of his regular throws, but his forward throw is actually what allows him to cargo hold opponents, which from that point gives him the ability to throw his opponents up, down, back, and forward again. Just like in Melee, it is really strong against fast fallers and allows them to cargo into any one of his aerials after being thrown, which is a big bread and butter of DK's kill moves. His regular back throw is another good kill move, and his up throw and cargo up throw are very good combo options for the character. If you like kill confirms that have a lot of mix-ups, then DK might be the character for you. Donkey Kong can be summarized as a very aggressive character. Some would say he takes the standard grappler archetype with faster speed and almost Captain Falcon-like confirms. He may be a big character, so it will be easier to combo him, but it doesn't mean DK can't combo you easily just as much back. He doesn't have the best recovery vertically, but he does have decent horizontal recovery, so just don't get too low under the stage or you'll be dead. Also, projectiles can be a problem for Donkey Kong, but that's a lot of characters in PM, you just have to really know how to deal with them. Projectiles can stuff his approaches, so it's important to be mindful with Donkey Kong and not approach recklessly. Learn how to beat your opponent's approaches on your own. So if you like grabbing your opponent and you want a character that really has grabbing as one of its strengths, you like the unique cargo mechanic that allows for a lot of unique confirms, then Donkey Kong might be the character for you. And like I said earlier, Donkey Kong was slept on really hard in PM's initial release. It wasn't until he got picked up by Thunder's Reign that people saw the full extent of what the character could bring to the table. So on paper, you wouldn't think a big character like Donkey Kong would be very good, but he definitely packs a punch. And that was a pun. Alright guys, that's it. That was the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Hopefully this won't be the last one for another 3 years.